Credit to Washington. They played a good game. I thought there was times we did some good things, but obviously not enough. Offensively, 6 points. It's tough to win a game. Didn't feel like we got into much of a rhythm, particularly on early downs on the offensive side of it. And then we left 11 points out there in the red zone. I thought defensively we battled. We hit a lot of our keys. They had the big one there at the end, but we got to do a better job on the offensive side of the football. Players, coaches, everybody. And then in the kicking game, I thought we did some good things there, but again, certainly not good enough. Tough game, good week we had, and give them a lot of credit. And just bottom line was not good enough.
How would you evaluate Russ today, right, Daves?
Yeah, I'd say with everybody offensively, that's all of us included. We all got to be better. Every coach, every player. You have 6 points there, just not good enough. So we got to do better there.
You really struggled under pressure. Is there anything you could point to in that regard?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back, Jordan, and watch all the tape, see how it looks, see what we can do better. Obviously, there's plenty. That's all of us.
Was there any point you considered putting Jackson in the game?
I did not.
In the second quarter, Brian, why did you decide to kick a field goal from the 2 after you had gone for it on 4th down and 3?
Yeah, we had 3 bad plays in a row down there, and we had a long drive, and I went for it. When we got the penalty and got to go again, and didn't want to come away with no points. Like it happened toward the end of the game, but we got to be better in the red zone. That's why I elected to go for 3 to get some points on the board.
Did you feel hamstrung by not being able to run the ball?
Well, I'd say the big part was early downs, Paul, throughout. Just getting some positive momentum plays so it's not, third down after third down after third down. 4 or 16, I think, on third down. 0 for 2 in the red zone. And then not good enough on early downs. That pretty much sums it up.
Why did you not consider putting Jackson in?
Well, we were right there to the end, Pat, till we got down there and missed on that. So, again, it's a collective deal. We can all do better.
When you guys are trailing like that and giving up run yards like that, how hard does it make it to play defense? I think everybody knows you guys want to rush the passer.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job of affecting him. He got out and scrambled. I think he had about 70 yards, which was good for them. Not as good for us, obviously. And he's going to make some of those plays. Again, I thought defensively we did some really good things. To hold them to 21 points. And again, we didn't get any turnovers. He hit us on a couple scrambles. They got us there at the end of the game. Hit, I think, 4 of 11 on third down, 3 of 4 in the red zone. So definitely things to clean up there as well. But I would just say, team overall, team football, not good enough to help each side out.
There was a lot of talk about the vibes were so much different this year. How do you prevent a feeling of kind of here we go again?
Well, it's a new season, but it does hurt, Dan. You've had a good camp. Felt good about coming into this game against a really good football team, and it does hurt. There's no question about that. So we got to pick up, move on, learn from it, and obviously not good enough. Get ready to play Dallas, who's had a little bit of a couple days off here, and focus on that. But focus on the things that we have to do better, all of us, and be ready to play a better game, collective game, complementary game.
There's obviously frustration in a game like this. We say you and Malik kind of getting into it between the first and second quarter. What was the...
Malik and I we're two, I would say, highly competitive people, and want to get him the ball. That's all it is. It's two competitive people, understanding that where we're at right now, or offensively where we're at, isn't where we want to be.
Did you guys decide to use Abdul in the punt block?
Yeah, I got one.
Was that something you guys knew all around, all the time? Did you look at just this game, or do you think he can be a weapon in that?
Yeah, I think it depends, Art. I think he provides some value in that area. He's had a good week. He's excited to do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. But he's somebody that we like on that unit based on his skill set and his rush ability to help us.
There were all sorts of reports before the game that you had package set up for Jackson that you might use in this game. Then you said that you didn't consider playing him. So is there a disparity there? What was, were those reports
Yeah,
accurate?
Russ, like I told you guys before, Russ was our quarterback. I think what you do with your backup quarterback and your third quarterback is make sure you have enough packages in, is that if they go in the game, that it's stuff that they feel comfortable with. So we'll see where we're at. Again, just overall, not, no, there's not good enough.
What was it, went into your decision, like how did you land on Jackson being the backup and Jameis the emergency move?
I thought he earned it. Thought Jackson earned it. So,
Will you consider starting Jackson next week?
yeah, look, we're going to get home, Pat. We're going to look at our game. Collectively, we all got to do better.
Was stopping the run, how much of it was Jaden and how much was you guys just, like you said, not making those mistakes, not doing anything?
I think he had 70 yards, and then we gave up that 20-yard reverse to Debo, and then the 42-yard backed up play with a minute left to Lockett, or to Bill. There were some good things. Obviously not good enough all the way around. But, I did think we battled defensively. This is a good offense. There's a couple plays, that they made. But collectively, we got to do a better job helping the defense out too. So it's, again, it's a one-score game there, and then they go down, they score, they hit the reverse, we drive down, we're at the, inside the 5-yard line again, and can't convert down there. We had 3 timeouts left, plus the 2-minute warning, but just didn't give ourselves a chance to go ahead and make it a closer game.
Daves, this is 3 straight openers, I think 12 total points.
Yeah.
Openers for you guys. Is there an explanation for that?
No, I'm focused on this year. Again, just didn't do a good enough job.
So two more.
Is it safe to say that Russell is still your starter?
Yes, I mean we're just right here after the game. I got confidence. We got to do better around overall, coaches, players, around everybody. So, we'll get focused and ready to go on Dallas. Go ahead, Pat.
In fairness, you not answering this sounds like you're not answering.
Well, we're talking about after every game. I got confidence in Russ. So we're going to go back. We'll evaluate the tape. This game isn't on Russell Wilson. It's not on Russell Wilson. I want to make that clear. So I have confidence in Russ. We got to do a better job all the way around.
Just your overall impressions of the game. I know that's so game against your goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game was, simple in the sense that, we didn't convert in the red zone. We had 2 chances down the red zone to make a close game, really close game. The game was close all the way out throughout the whole game, really, to be honest with you. But, I thought our defense did a good job battling. I thought for us, when we get down the red zone, balls on the 1-2 yard line, we got to score. They stopped us. They played well. We got back down there again, and they stopped us again. So, I think that changes the complexion of the game tremendously, and that's just the reality of it.
Do you think you guys got too fancy in the red zone? I think you had that one series in the second quarter where I think you threw 6 passes inside the 8 and only ran it once.
Yeah, I think one of the times we got the penalty. There's a penalty, so a kind of new set of downs. But I had Wandell on one. I scrambled. Malik tried to make a play, tried to make a good play. He was 4th down. Guys were doing a good job scrambling, moving around, and we didn't get that one, unfortunately. But I was trying to get him the ball, and everybody was just trying to make a play. I think also too. I think that so that could have been one. We had they stopped us on a couple of the runs that we had. They did a good job, and so once again, to keep it simple, I think the biggest thing we got to do is score in the red zone.
You're new here, but a lot of guys aren't, and 0-1 is 8 of the last 9 years, and struggling to score touchdowns is the last 4 years. How do you prevent here we go again kind of feeling?
Yeah, I just think focus on what we can do better. I think that we have a good team. That's a good football team too. It was a close game. It was 14-6 the whole game. And they scored in the last few minutes there. But it was, 14-6. We really, should have been, at least 14-10 or trying to get 14-17 or something like that. But, like I said, we don't convert in the red zone. That's what happens.
It seemed like you guys built some good, really good momentum in the, training camp preseason, obviously. So, does today come as a little bit of a shock to you guys?
And we knew we were going to battle. We knew it was going to be a 4-quarter game. It was. We knew it was going to come down, executing in the red zone. Like I said, they stopped us. That first drive, they were physical. They made some plays on us down there, and that's what they did. I think that the next time next game we got to make touchdowns down there. That's just the name of the game in the red zone.
There were some reports this morning that the Giants obviously didn't come to fruition today, but there's a Jackson Dart package in the offense. If you have to come out of the game for Jackson Dart, how are you going to handle that?
That wasn't necessarily the plan this week or anything like that. I think the biggest thing is just, like I said, all of us together, all of us winning together, all of us being successful together, all of us playing clean football, and find a way to make plays. I think that's important.
Is there any pressure on you? I mean, you've been around 14 years, how much pressure is, but every week there's pressure, about Jackson Dart. Is there any either pressure or irritation about having to hear that, or anticipate having to hear that every week?
No, I just focus on what we can control. I thought we competed our butts off today. It was a physical game. I thought, we left it all on the field. We gave it our all physically. Just kind of you stand tall in the midst of, that game, just kind of battling through it and trying to find a way to win. And like I said, they stopped us in the red zone. That's I think that was the name of this game. We had, I think, 9 possessions, 9 possessions. 2 of them were down in the red zone. We didn't capitalize on those. So that's what we got to do.
Malik, why do you think the offense struggled to get going today?
Not really sure. I mean, we got to stay on schedule. We had a lot of miscues, penalties, stuff to bring us back, sacks. So we got to all align when we out there on the field. It's 11-man football. We got to all be on the same page. And we wasn't today.
Did you feel like there was opportunities for you to have made more of an impact, make big plays today?
I did what I could. I mean, we had some plays drawn up. The defense did a good job of just playing underneath, playing over the top, doing a good job of switching the coverage up. So we try to get me in the game as much as possible, but, defensive schemed up well.
When you were having an animated conversation with Brian on the sideline, what was that about?
I said I was going to speak up, when it was time for me to speak up, but just trying to get guys going, trying to get everything going. I felt like we was, lacking out there. The energy wasn't right, so I took it upon myself to, try to boost people up. It's 2 competitive people going at it. He wants to win. I want to win. I feel like that's the reason he got me over here is because how, me and him are just alike. It was 2 people just going at it. We trying to get the same outcome. So that was really all.
One, why do you think the energy wouldn't be right? Do you think everyone would be kind of amped up for this?
Not sure, but we'll try to figure it out once we get back, watch the film, see what takeaways we take from that, see what we can get better at, and try to be better next time we out.
How much does losing eat at you?
I mean, nobody wants to lose. I mean, you can always think about your losses, but it don't eat up on me too long no more. I mean, I learned to flush it. It is what it is. Leading to next week, I can't carry this loss into next week. So I got to move forward. The game is over. Just focus on Dallas.
How do you explain the red zone problems?
Not really sure. We just gotta be. Just got to be more on the same page. Got to get a line right. There's a lot of things we just missed up. Being alignment right, making sure we got the same play, making sure the play call is right, making sure we calling the play call to just scheme everybody open. But coach called what he called. We got to do our best to try to get open and separate.
There will be conversation outside here, talk radio and stuff that people will say putting Jackson in will change things, that'll make the offense better. What do you make of that?
Russ did a great job distributing the ball when he can. They was doing a lot of good, pressures up the middle, things outside of that. We got to be better as a whole offense of trying to get, open with Russ. We had a lot of plays that needed to be made, myself included. Russ was putting the ball in some great spots. We just got to come up with the catches. Got to be open when he needs us to be open. And we take that as a whole offense. We all got to be better as a whole. So there's no change to, one person change, they ain't gonna do better. We still gotta all be better for ourselves.
How surprised are you after an off season of optimism? How surprised were you that this was the offensive performance you put out there?
I was very surprised. I mean, we all seen preseason, how we was all out there having fun, how the offense was leading into the right direction. So, we gotta find that rhythm again. Try to find that that ongoing pressure of when we out there, putting pressure on the ball, and scoring points and getting the ball in playmakers' hands, and try to be better when we out there next time.
Dex, what did you think of the defense's performance?
I think we played well in the areas. We just gotta just tackle. I think that's the biggest point. That we got him in a lot of third and longs, and we got to contain. We knew coming to he wanted to run the ball. We got to do better than that. They just played well, and we got to do better and get ready.
Overall, it feels kind of like a similar script to what we've seen before, where defense kind of plays well, maybe some missed tackles, offense struggles to get in the end zone. I know with the fans, it's a here we go again. How do you avoid that in this locker room?
That's not our mindset. We bleed together. We ride together, and the game just didn't go our way today, and we gotta get ready to play Dallas and beat them.
How did you feel your first time playing? Obviously in a long time.
I got in my flow a little bit. Second half a little more, but it wasn't good enough. I got to prepare to go be better next week, and I think that's the biggest thing. You got to keep working on your improvement, no matter where you are in the stage of your career, or after a game, or if you have a great game, you got to keep improving, and that's how you don't limit yourself.
Were you on some sort of pitch count at any point today?
No, not necessarily.
Every drive obviously is different, but what happened on that 95-yard drive there that you in the fourth quarter? It was 14-6. If you hold them, get the ball back, maybe you have a chance. What did you see there?
I gotta watch the tape. I don't know.
Dexter, I know that Daniels is very slippery, so does it make it very difficult to gauge what your pass rush looked like today?
Not necessarily. I don't, when we wrapped him up, we got him down. A lot of things was just open gaps he found and ran through. We just gotta be better in cage rushing and things like that.
You said there's not like a here we go again attitude. So what is the vibe in here?
Don't make it two. Simple as that. There's no need for rah-rah. We got the players, and we got each other, and that's all we need.
Brian, I know the result is not what you wanted, but as you come off the field, what is maybe the thing that concerns you the most, or the most disappointing thing about this game today for you?
Most disappointing is really just not getting the job done. Felt like the whole game, it was just like right there, but just a little too far for our grasp. I think we kept them to 14, basically the entire game to the middle of the fourth. So I felt like it was a game for the most part, but we couldn't get that last extra push to tie it up or either take the lead. So.
You got to Daniels a few times. You in particular got to him twice, but yet he's so slippery, he still winds up making some plays. How difficult is that to gauge in terms of your effectiveness versus his ability to be very slippery?
You got to be careful when you rush him. I got to him twice. I should have been the third, but like you said, he's very slippery, very fast. He knows what he can do with his legs, so. Just got to be aware of them, but still at the same time be aggressive while rushing them, but just make good decisions. And I felt like we did that for the most part. He got out a couple times, but that's just what's gonna happen.
How much are you trying to throw different looks at him? It seemed like sometimes a dual spy, sometimes maybe Bobby was spy. You're just trying to give them different things to counter.
Just keeping eyes on him. Nothing more, complex than that. Just keeping eyes on him because we know what he can do with his feet. Especially on the side that he can see, his dominant side. You want to keep that like a wall, so he doesn't just take the easy route and just run. But for the most part, I don't know yet. I haven't watched the film, but I don't think he hurt us too bad with his legs. But he is going to make a couple plays. He has that ability. So.
Brian, the whole offseason there was so much positive vibes, so much optimism. There'd be a much better, more talented team. Do you still feel like that, or is there like a sense that this was a very similar game to last season?
Yeah, no, my confidence isn't wavering from one game. I still have a lot of confidence in this team. It's one game, not finna let that turn into two. Want to correct make these corrections and get to Dallas and, even this board out.
I'm sorry.
No, you could. Go ahead.
There was a lot of talk this summer about earning the right to rush the passer. You know, one of the ways to do that is for your team to get a lead and force them. You know, obviously that didn't happen today. How difficult of a challenge is that to play the game more on their terms than your terms?
It's hard. You know, it's hard. It's the job I signed up for, though. But you know, it's hard when you can't really tell, you can't really get a read on what they're going to do next. You know, and how difficult their run game is. They executed at a high level today, I feel like, with their blocking schemes. But, you know, you just got to play the cards that you dealt, you know. So that's what I tell my guys is remain relentless because you never know when the opportunity's coming. And, yeah, man.
What was it like as the first game you had all the new pieces together in your room, just getting that to kind of coalesce? How did you feel that went?
In my room?
Yeah.
Felt like it went well. We rotated pretty well. You know, they were doing a lot of tempo. Trying to keep us on our toes. They wasn't letting us sub for a while because I'm sure they didn't want us to get our pass rush personnel in. But we did a good job rotating, trying to keep fresh bodies out there because we know we got to chase old boy all day. So I felt good about my room.
How different is that for you to have to, you know, the second drive of the game, you guys are already in the middle of like a rotation. I'm not sure that was something you probably haven't done very often. Like how unique and different was that for you?
Yeah, I haven't. It is a little different for me, you know, coming out of the game, but I feel like it's necessary at times. You know, you want to keep fresh rushers out there, you know, to keep an eye and chase down Jaden. So I'm all for the team. Like I'm not finna, you know, feed my ego just to stay in the game. If it's a 9-play drive, you know, not like that. So I feel like it was good.
Brian, from two sides of the spectrum, you saw one of your linebackers, McFadden, go down. How difficult was that? And then on the other side, Carter gets a partially blocked punt, which I'm sure the linebacker room probably likes.
Yeah, man, seeing Micah go down was bad. That's a tough loss. People don't know how valuable he is to this defense. You know, he flies under the radar a lot, but Micah is a baller. So I just hope his injury isn't too serious. And then I was happy for Abdul getting that block punt. You know, that possibly changed the game. You know, he's a gamer all the way around from defense to now special teams. So I'm just excited to see what he can do for the rest of the season.
You know, there's been an offseason of optimism pretty much all around here, right? In the summer, you guys were scoring a ton of points in the preseason. What did you make of, or how much did it take you by shock that the offense and Russ kind of struggled the way they did in the opener?
You said, did it shock me?
Yeah, basically. What did you make of it in general?
No, man, it's football. You know, they had time to game plan and know, you know, they had time to study us and you know, develop their game plan. And they executed better than us. We just got to get back to the drawing board and be better. Initially, it's not really a shock for me because I've been in this league long enough to know how things go on any given Sunday. It can be 42 this week, 7 next week. You never know. So I don't really pay too much mind to it. Every week is its own week.
Stopping the run, how much you think was it just because of Jane's unique ability and also things that, you know, you guys can look back and fix on?
There's a bunch of things we can look back and fix on, but their run scheme, their gap schemes, the things that they do is already difficult in itself. It really holds you to a certain standard that you have to do your job and your job only. We just have to get back to the drawing board and see what they were doing that was a little different. I feel like they pulled out a couple stutters this game that we really haven't seen. But we knew they were going to have a game plan and they were going to do something new. So just got to get back to it and figure out what it was.